people of the World Wide Web. So yes, this is Look What I've Been Watching, episode 73. So getting close 3/4 to 100. Thank you for your continued service and support if you are watching this video and you are enjoying it. So anybody who doesn't know, I always do quick refreshes. Basically, I go through what physical media I've watched in the past 100 days, past 7 days. I say this is only physical media. I don't do any streaming, and anything I see at the cinema that is in my other channels. So first we will do the silly, this is the picture. As you well know, clicking on the video, you would have seen it. So what I do is I go in reverse order first, so we shall go. So first off, this is Region 1. So this is one I picked up a little while ago. It is an 80s, I think it's an 80s series, could be 90s, is from Exo Squad. So that's the first series, all 13 episodes, as is most of the series or cartoons of this era. They did used to have massive ones, and it went down to 13 because that was the most cost effective. Basically, it is you have the human race. They have terraformed Venus and Mars, and in the doing process, they have created this race called the Neo Sapiens. They basically are their slaves, and then 50 years ago, they overthrow their dictatorship, and there's a big battle. The battle ends, and then they all go back to being friends. 50 years passes, and then obviously you have JT Marsh. He's the leader of the Exo Squad. This is an Exo suit he has, and this is what most of the good guys have. And basically the Martians have like another revolt, and this is kind of the story of them revolting and stuff, and the all into that. It's quite an interesting story. They obviously kill people off and stuff, which is not much you see from these cartoons. The toys are very hard to come by, especially complete. I have one or two that aren't complete with no figures. But it was an enjoyable watch, a good trip down memory lane. I don't really remember it too much, so I didn't pay that much attention as a kid. So next one, that was one I bought a little while ago. Saw this at cinema, Victor Frankenstein. Basically, this tells you the story, or it starts off of Igor, Daniel Radcliffe's character, and how he was in a circus, and Dr. Frankenstein kind of reinvent him, so to speak, and then these two go on to create, obviously, Frankenstein's monster, as the story would go. These two, James McAvoy and Daniel Radcliffe, very good relationship with them. The story of them two worked really well. I wish maybe they had carried it on more, not just gone straight to the monster at the end. But I did enjoy the story of them two. I mean, overall, it's all right. It's an enjoyable watch if you like this sort of thing. It's not the greatest of story. You know, there are a few bits that are lacking here and there, but I feel like the relationship between the main two characters did work really well. One I bought recently, obviously, is The Punisher. This is the Dolph Lundgren version, the very early one. Very much plays like a TV movie. Even the kind of looks like someone's drawn on his face to make him look like he's got a beard. Very silly in places. I say I'm not the most biggest comic book fan of the Punisher, so I don't know how much of this relates. Obviously, they have the story of his family being killed, and obviously he's then going on a hunt. And as I throw the case on the floor, but being a big comic book fan, I'm glad to have this and have it in the collection. So it adds to my Marvel side of things. Then we have another series, the second series that I finished this week. So this is A Town Called Eureka Season 2. So yeah, this is one of the few series that I'm trying to finish this year that I never got around to watch. I've only ever watched part of season 2, I think, or for all of season 2. So I am more or less caught up to where I was or have. So I've got 3 more series to watch. So I look very much. And basically, it's a sheriff. He's in a town. This town is kind of hidden mostly from the world, and basically has the most intelligent people all there, and they do these experiments and stuff goes wrong, and it's down to his job to fix it. And it's quite ingenious. I do quite like it. It's quite a fun and enjoyable. There are a few heartfelt moments as well that do hit very well. The main guy, Craig Ferguson, I think it is a really good actor. He's not really been in too much that I've seen elsewhere. Next, so this was one I picked up on Payday. So this is Patema Inverted. So you may have seen this and I was like, hang on, this looks like it's stuck upside down. So this actually is a really fun little story. So what you have is you have in the world, so you have the outside world, which you have this young lad, he lives on the outside of the world, and the inside of the world you have this other part of the human race, and this little girl is called Patema, and she lives there. But because she lives inside the planet, her gravity is inverted. So essentially, if she was in this room, she'd be standing on the ceiling and her head would be here up like this. So obviously what happens is, if she's she, I won't go into too much detail, but basically ends up falling through this tunnel. And when she falls out of the tunnel, she actually falls out of a gap in what would be our Earth and heads towards the sky. Obviously, this lad sees her, grabs hold of her, and he is basically the anchor to keep her down. And then you basically find out why there are these two different kind of races that live together, and the inverted and how it happens ish. It doesn't explain it, but it actually is a really, really fun story. Very, very clever idea, and an I can't even get it. Yeah, it's done very, very well, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's really a nice story to have. So another one to add to the anime list. It's not on the 100 list, but it was an enjoyable one. So with a probably poorly edited, we will go with Ben-Hur. So Ben-Hur is the last one on this watch list. Basically, it is essentially around two brothers. One's the right birthright, one's not the birthright. He supports basically the rebels of the Roman Empire, and then gets kind of put into exile, and then for a set of events basically is taken to be this horse rider, all culminating in this big kind of race, which is 2 hours setting up a horse race, which I didn't think was that great. I played the game, and probably the game was just about as exciting as this movie was. Obviously got Morgan Freeman in it, got a few like fairly good actors and actresses in it, but yeah, just felt a little short than that. But that has been a look what I've been watching. Have you seen any of these? Any watch of these? What are your thoughts and feelings? Let me know in the comments down below. I've been Tough Super Screen Time. This is Look What I've Been Watching 73. Thanks again for staying with me and watching these weekly videos, and I shall see you in the next one.